Well, that's an interesting question, because there are many ways to define theologian. It's no big surprise that I'm a huge Thomas Merton fan, especially in his later years when he started to really examine and think about the ways in which Catholicism can inform Buddhism and vice versa. Sort of roughly the direction that I find myself drawn towards. Kung, obviously, is the great architect of the 20th century church, the great architect of the Second Vatican Council. I admire Ratzinger as a theologian, I have to say, and was writing about him in the 80s because I found his intellectual work so interesting and certainly counter-revolutionary. But I think not as great or as big or as expansive or as generous a mind as Kung's. Beneath them all, obviously, Aquinas, but to my mind, the great architect of imaginative Christianity is obviously St. Augustine. And I don't think there's a more grueling or brutal analysis or insight into the human condition than Augustine. And even though I think at some level he's wrong, I think his distinctions are too stark. I think his relationship to the body is far too conflicted. But as a mind and as a human being, I mean, he was writing as a modern human being 2,000 years ago. Well, not quite 2,000 years ago, but a very long time ago. I find the Confessions to be about as fantastic a tell-all memoir as any I've ever read. And it still shocks me a little bit, just as his own teachings are really, really brutal at times. So, Augustine and Merton, probably.